This is Sunset News, the show that brings you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Diana Master. Getting into the news tonight. The EU ambassador to Namibia, Sinika Antila, today said that the partnership between Namibia and EU member states have encouraged an increase in export in the country. She announced this while highlighting the agenda of the Economic Partnership Agreement launch next week, Monday, 31st October. Antila added that this will be an all-inclusive trade agreement and MSME and SMEs will all be part of it. Let's take a look at this video.
To the EU or increasing exports, discussions on manufacturing, trade facilitation and logistics, among others. At this event, we want to hear from business leaders what are the key trade issues that affect them and what can be done to grow and develop trade opportunities. As I said, SADC-EU EPA was signed in 2016, but it provides duty-free, quota-free access to European markets. And this is something, of course, very good for businesses to know that there is duty-free, quota-free access to the market. It also provides, furthermore, flexible rules of origin under which exporters can more easily source from elsewhere the inputs they need to make their final products. Some of these issues may sound complicated. I'm sure the trade and industry knows about the rules of origin, but that is why we are organizing this forum which brings together experts, and they can be, they give information. What does it mean, the rules of origin?
Moving right along, the Vice President Nangolo Mbumba will tomorrow address traditional leaders from affected communities and other involved officials about the latest developments in regards to the government's negotiations with Germany in respect of the 1904 to 1908 genocide. The event will take place at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. Many of the traditional leaders have gathered in Windhoek since Monday in anticipation of tomorrow's deliberations. They are being accommodated at the Safari Hotel. Today, a number of the invited headmen and traditional leaders met at the Hilton Hotel in preparation for tomorrow. Here, one of the negotiators for an affected community, Charles Aseb, briefly explains what is happening. Let's take a look at this clip by Ogeto Craig.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Charles Aseb. I'm one of the negotiators from the affected communities. The reason why we are gathered here is to prepare ourselves for tomorrow's engagement with the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, where he will be briefing and also share what has been achieved so far pertaining to the genocide negotiations. Thus, we are preparing ourselves so that we can understand what are the reasons, where are we and where are we going. That's basically the rationale as to why we have met here. Thank you.
In our next story, Oneuptwo Mayor Tara Shaliefu this afternoon commissioned Church Street. This project started in September 2021 and was completed in June 2022 at a cost of $8.2 million Namibian dollars by Emirates Construction. Tuyemo Haidula compiled this video.
The dear resident of this town, Oneuptwo, like you heard in my statement, it is actually my honor and the privilege as we commission this road. We call it Church Street, part of Oneuptwo town. In Oneuptwo town, I have learned from Antuma that this area is called the Riambala. It was known as, we used to refer to it as Balombola. But thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Getting into our next story, the Mining, Metal, Maritime and Construction has suspended Irongo Regional Coordinator Emmanuel Festus effective today. In a letter seen by Namibian Sun, Festus is suspended pending an investigation. According to the letter, he is given 5 days to vacate the organization's accommodation where he resides. In our story of the day, we take a look at media mis- and disinformation. But first, a quick ad break.
We are back again with another episode of your favorite show.
Scholars, varsity and the youth generation through Zone, Varsity and School News. If you'd like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact Zone at synergy.com.na.
You're watching Sunset News. Now let's get into our story of the day. For Media Literacy Week, media expert Frank Sesno and Mandela Fellows Estina Taylor from Sierra Leone and Lizette Ferris from Namibia discussed the history of mis- and disinformation and why it has increased in recent years. Let's take a look at this video.
How has the information landscape changed over the last decade? And why is mis- and disinformation appearing to be proliferated so much?
I think before we talk about the landscape, we need to understand the term. So the term information landscape is used, it's a range of information used in our daily life, our work, our studies. And it's likely that your information landscape will reflect your interest and relate to different parts of your life. But now, if I am to talk about how this has changed over the years, I would say the information landscape is in constant state of change. The internet has grown widely in reach and in capability. Today, we see residential connections with gigabytes speed. And that was not the story 10 years ago. So we are even talking about broadband internet. And this has become a norm in developed world and all of it. 10 years ago, cloud was an imagined buzzword, but today it is essential for businesses to store their data and serve their customers as well. So there are lots of changes that has happened, and handheld devices like mobile phone, they have become rapidly advanced in capability. I remember my first phone. It was nice. I really loved that phone. I think that was in 2010, or smartphone. That was in 2011, yes, 2011, 2012. I loved that phone, but it was slow, not compared to what I have now. So you see, there are lots of things that has happened. And in 2007, Apple that we now see that's mostly used, it was an imagined device. You know, Nokia dominated. If you don't have a Nokia phone, I don't think you are that innovative. So that's how the landscape has changed. But I would talk a bit about why mis- and disinformation appears to proliferate or all of the sorts. So it's mainly to influence public opinion and to obscure the truth. And because of that, you know, we receive such an massive amount of information as we used to 10 years ago. So if you compare that, it means it would double the rate of misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation that we receive. So now more than ever, we are receiving more information than we used to, and the information that we receive mostly, it's there isn't much of any regulation or control. So we're all prone to receiving. But not only receiving, spreading either intentionally or unintentionally false information and disinformation.
In Community Talk tonight, we take a look at what the police have to say about relationships coming to an end. More on this after the break.
Kom kuier gerus elke Vrydag aand saam met Arjougar, waar hy vooruitskouing doen van wat op die sportvelde reg oor die wêreld gaan plaasvind. Daar word op die naweek se top internasionale sportgeleenthede gefokus en plaaslike sport in Namibië asook Suid-Afrika word in oënskou geneem. Die kenners praat saam en huidige asook oud spelers gee hul mening en ons hoor grootlik sommer uit die spreekwoordelike perd se bek. Niemand weet met sekerheid wat die naweek op die sportveld gaan gebeur nie, maar iemand weet wel watter faktore die uitslae kan beïnvloed. Ons praat met daardie iemand wat weet, en soms word geheim ook uitgelaat. Vrydaande is ons in die tonnel gereed om uit te draf. Dit is jou Vrydag afspraak wat jou ingelig gaan hou alvordat die spelers uit die tonnel opdraf. Sport is ons passie. Sien jou in die tonnel.
You're still at Sunset News. Let's get into our community talk segment. Inspector Nicanor Paulos from the Police Criminal Investigations Division in Oshana region has urged people in relationships to accept their partner's decisions if they decide to end such relationships. This video is by Enzo Amuele.
For trespassing. Trespassing is you are entering the residence of the complainant without a permission. This is the person that you are in a domestic relationship with, or you were in a domestic relationship with. Okay, I'm sorry, let me withdraw that point. The person that you are in a domestic relationship with, because I'm going to explain it to you later. The person does not want you anymore. Instead, I drop you. The period of 2 years did not lapse. That means that you are still in a domestic relationship with this person. But you are still going to this person's residence. To do what? Because what this person used to give you, whatever this person used to give you, that it would be very sweet, like sugar, perhaps, I don't know. Will not give it to you anymore. Whether it's a man, ladies, you are the culprit in here. I'm sorry to mention that. You are begging for men to come back. I'm just kidding. It's a vice versa. It's a vice versa. Yeah. What I'm saying is, let us stop doing that. It is a criminal offense. As long as you are doing it, you are doing it to the person whom we are in a domestic relationship with. If a person does not want you to go there, don't go there. Okay. Finish and clap. Or how? Or yes. Abuse can be committed in the sense that you are being aggressive to your partner, you are being aggressive to your child, or to the extent that you may even insult, you are even insulting this person, criminal insults. You are saying it, the way you talk to somebody when you are in the house, it has an emotional and psychological abuse mentally here. It affects your partner, it affects your children or whomever you are in a domestic relationships. So please let us proceed, Madam.
After the break, we take a look at the news headlining the economic scene, and tonight we look at the increase in the repo rate. But first, a quick ad break.
Kletskompas is 'n Afrikaanse kontinuïteitsprogram met Namibiese nuus en onderhoude. As jy jou handelsmerk of veldtog op hierdie platform wil vertoon, kontak klets@synergy.com.na.
Heading into our economic news, the Bank of Namibia announced a second consecutive 75 basis points increase in the repo rate from 5.50% to 6.25%, bringing it on par with South Africa. That means the prime lending rate for local commercial banks will also increase from 9.25% to 10%. Let's take a look at this video.
Despite this improvement, growth in private sector credit generally remains subdued. The increase in private sector credit extension was mainly driven by businesses in the form of short-term credit facilities, as well as installment and leasing credit by corporates in the mining and the services sectors. For the first 8 months of 2022, growth in private sector credit increased to 3.5%, higher than the 2.5% registered during the same period in 2021. As at the 30th of September 2022, the stock of international reserves declined slightly to 48 billion Namibian dollars from 49.2 billion Namibian dollars at the end of July 2022.
Before we move on from the economic scene, let's take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at $18.03 to the US dollar and $18.09 to the euro. It trades at $20.87 to the pound and to Namibian dollars and 52 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. Gold is up with 0.72% and Brent crude is up 1.5%, trading at $94.45 per barrel. In the international slot, the Kremlin says it may transfer assets in annexed Ukrainian regions to Russian companies. Stick around for the full story coming up after the break. NMH Ad 1 brings you news from all across Namibia. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact NMH1 at synergy.com.na. NMH Ad 1, your lunchtime news companion. Let's get into our international news. The Kremlin on Wednesday said that assets in the 4 Ukrainian regions that Russia said it had annexed last month may in future be transferred to Russian companies. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said it was obvious that abandoned assets could not be left inactive and the government would deal with the issue. Ukraine, its Western allies, and an overwhelming majority of countries at the UN General Assembly have condemned Russia's declared annexation of the 4 regions as illegal. Stick around for the weather forecast coming up after the break.
Ohole So Nice is an entertainment show brought to you by the youth for the youth. This is a dating show that allows individuals to participate and be their own true selves. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact Zone at synergy.com.na.
It wouldn't be Sunset News if we don't take a look at the weather forecast. Overcast weather is expected in Rundu and Oshakati, while high temperatures remain with a high of 38 degrees in Katima and Enana. Cooler weather is being enjoyed along the coast with minimum temperatures of 11 and 12 degrees and maximum temperatures between 18 and 19 degrees. In the sports section tonight, we take a look at the boxers that arrived in the capital on Tuesday, ready for this weekend's knockout.
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
Kletskompas is 'n Afrikaanse kontinuïteitsprogram met Namibiese nuus en onderhoude. As jy jou handelsmerk of veldtog op hierdie platform wil vertoon, kontak klets@synergy.com.na.
You're still watching Sunset News. Let's take a look at the news headlining the sports scene. The international boxers who are set to battle MTC Nesta Sunshine Boxing and Fitness Academy fighters had arrived by yesterday ahead of the anticipated boxing bonanza this coming weekend. The Together as One Part 8 boxing bonanza will take place this Saturday at the Ramatex complex, with the MTC Nesta Sunshine Academy lining up some of its hard-hitting title holders. The Namibian Canoe and Rowing Federation, also known as NCRF, an affiliate of the Namibian Sports Commission and the Namibia National Olympic Committee, in conjunction with the Commonwealth Rowing Association, also known as CRA, will host Namibia's first CRA Beach Sprint Championships from the 2nd to the 4th of December at Independence Beach in Walvis Bay. NCRF is a member of the International Canoe Federation, ICF. It is also a continental affiliate of the Confederation of Africa Canoeing, CAC, Commonwealth Rowing Association, CRA, Africa Rowing Federation, FASA, and the World Rowing Federation, WRF. Bringing us to the end of our top stories, Namibian junior cyclists competing at this year's Nedbank Desert Dash say the iconic 24-hour race, which takes riders through the oldest desert in the world, is one every cyclist should have on their bucket list. Daniel Hahn, 17 years of age, who made his debut in a 4-person team at the 2021 edition of the event, said his first experience, although it was a podium finish, was not enough. He and his team are aiming for top honors in the 4-man team category this year. After the break, we take a look at the highlights from today's broadcast, just in case you need a quick recap.
The Regional Review brings you news, views, and interviews from NMH correspondents from across the country. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact regional@synergy.com.na.
Kom kuier gerus elke Vrydag aan saam met Arjougar, waar hy vooruitskouing doen van wat op die sportvelde reg oor die wêreld gaan plaasvind. Daar word op die naweek se top internasionale sportgeleenthede gefokus en plaaslike sport in Namibië asook Suid-Afrika word in oënskou geneem. Die kenners praat saam en huidige asook oud spelers gee hul mening en ons hoor grootlik sommer uit die spreekwoordelike perd se bek. Niemand weet met sekerheid wat die naweek op die sportveld gaan gebeur nie, maar iemand weet wel watter faktore die uitslae kan beïnvloed. Ons praat met daardie iemand wat weet, en soms word geheim ook uitgelaat. Vrydaande is ons in die tonnel gereed om uit te draf. Dit is jou Vrydag afspraak wat jou ingelig gaan hou alvordat die spelers uit die tonnel opdraf. Sport is ons passie. Sien jou in die tonnel.
It's true what they say, all good things must come to an end. But before we sign off, let's take a look at the highlights from today's broadcast. The Bank of Namibia announced a second consecutive 75 basis points increase in the repo rate from 5.50% to 6.25%, bringing it on par with South Africa. That means the prime lending rate for local commercial banks will also increase from 9.25% to 10%. The Mining, Metal, Maritime and Construction has suspended Irongo Regional Coordinator Emmanuel Festus effective today. In a letter seen by Namibian Sun, Festus is suspended pending an investigation. According to the letter, he is given 5 days to vacate the organization's accommodation where he resides. The international boxers who are set to battle MTC Nesta Sunshine Boxing and Fitness Academy fighters had arrived by yesterday ahead of the anticipated boxing bonanza this weekend. The Together as One Part 8 boxing bonanza will take place this Saturday at the Ramatex complex, with the MTC Nesta Sunshine Academy lining up some of its hard-hitting title holders. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, Oneuptwo.com. Sunset News screens on Dstv channel 285 and Gotv channel 94 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.